Perfect Talk is what it do. It's your guy DJ Playboy back in the building with another episode. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You know how it's going down. On this episode, we gotta give props to Doja Cat. That's right, having the first #1 rap record, the real first #1 rap record of the year on that Billboard chart. Also, we gotta talk about, some breakups, some divorces. Jeezy Jeannie Mai, Teyana Taylor Iman Shumpert, and then I had to find out about Remy Ma and Papoose from the battle rap circuit. What's going on out here? Also, we got to talk about beef, beef between Drake and Halle Berry, beef between Chris Brown and Tinashe, and of course, Nicki Minaj's husband got to have some little bit of beef with Offset. What's going on there, people? We got that and much, much more. Perfect Talk Podcast, baby.
DJ Playboy.
What's good, y'all? It's your man DJ Playboy back with another episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast, and I'm back in the building with my dog, my guy. It's been a long time, brother.
Yes,
Spec.
sir. It was good. It's good, player.
Happy to see you, man. Happy to see you. How's life been?
Long week. Tired. I'm glad it's Friday.
Yo, these really do be like the end of my. We usually record on Fridays sometimes, and it's just like the end of my day. So it definitely is like, a marathon run until we get here. And then it's like when we actually record and everything, it's like, all right, cool. We get to chill. We get to actually relax and all that. So how you been? How you been?
I've been chilling, man.
Yeah.
Just making it through the week. Work. Same old.
I think this week was Trucker Appreciation Day. I want to look that up real quick. But
Trucker
Appreciation Day. And that means a little bit something to me. Let me make sure. Hold on. Make sure I ain't misquoting it. But I feel like I heard somebody shout out Trucker Appreciation Day. And me, like that's like
Truckers Move America.
They do. Yeah, they do. Not only that, they saved my life. Remember about like 2-3 years ago?
FedEx.
Yeah, FedEx truck. Yep, it was Oh no, I'm lying. It's coming up though. It's not too far away. It's October 4th this year.
That's the anniversary?
No. So basically, Trucker Appreciation Week was September 10th to the 16th, and then Trucker Appreciation Day is October 4th. So it was the week I heard them shouting out.
Okay.
Trucker Appreciation Week, but like I said, it was FedEx truck that saved my life like 2 years ago when I almost got into an accident. Like these guys were running from the cops, if you don't know, and they ran a stop sign. They were headed right for me and my daughter, and a FedEx truck came out of nowhere. Like God dropped a FedEx truck on us, you know what I mean? And it fell on them, you know what I mean? They got caught underneath, luckily, but they didn't hit me. And I actually was blessed enough to actually meet that driver, right. And I shake his hands, and you know what I'm saying? Definitely tell him thank you, and yeah. You know what I mean? So it was shout out to all the truckers out there.
Word up.
Yeah, definitely doing their thing out there. But
I'll say this, since we're kind of talking about anniversaries,
mm-hmm.
we got one. 20 years. Well, first and foremost, I forgot to give this to you last time. I came through. That's from Puerto Rico. Straight from Puerto Rico.
Oh!
That's the good stuff.
For everybody listening,
that's the strong one.
So I don't need to mix nothing with this. I just go straight up.
That one is strong.
For everybody who don't know, Spec just gave me a bottle of Coquito. Did I pronounce that right?
Sir, Coquito.
Lilo Lay.
And 20 years ago this month, we met for the first time.
Did we really?
Yeah.
Oh, because school.
School.
Yeah.
Wow,
school would have started in September. But did we meet in September?
Yeah, we met in September.
Did we?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't friends.
Yeah, we just knew of each other. Yeah,
because we had a mutual friend. We went out. First time I met you, we went out to a club.
That's what I remember.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised you remember that.
I got faded.
I remember seeing you under a car. Like, it's a wild boy, man.
Yo, but it's funny you bring that up. I thought, that's what I thought you was going to say is the anniversary of the car accident that we had gotten.
I think that's October.
Is that close to October?
Yeah, that's October.
But yeah, when we had first met, I remember going out that night, and it was a wild night. It was definitely crazy, but it made me appreciate that I got friends that don't leave me drunk. Like, I seen a video of Tiffany Haddish at the VMAs, and she's like chasing down Shakira, and she looked a little, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, yo, and then I heard somebody was like, where are the people that be with her? Where's her folks at? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, at least as much of a ass that I made out of myself, like, I still had the homies looking out.
I can say that, yeah, we never left nobody, like, ever just
leave no man behind,
stranded, passed out somewhere.
Exactly.
So niggas always made it home.
That's and you, not everybody's that lucky to have friends like that. So I definitely appreciate, you know what I mean, that we held each other down like that. It's funny, since we're going down Throwback Lane, I don't know what it is. I've been on like a 90s TV wave. Like, I just been listening to not even listening, well, I guess a little bit of music wise, but mostly watching. Just 90s shit. Like, I don't even know if this is from the 90s, but I seen it in the 90s. Bloodsport.
Okay, with Van Damme.
Yeah, I was watching that recently.
That's a classic.
Then the Roku channel will be showing, what is it? It's Jerry Springer. It's called Nosy. It's Jerry Springer and it's
not new episodes. He's passed.
Yeah. But it's the best of the best. It's throwback. You know, like it don't even fit on your screen because it wasn't widescreen back then. But it's funny. It reminds me how wild 90s television really was. Like they was getting away with some stuff, bro.
I stay watching them wrestling clips.
Yeah. You right about that.
Back in the 90s.
Whoa. And then what's the other one? It's not on Roku. But I watch it on one of these streaming platforms. It's Cops. Okay. I forgot what the channel it comes on is, but it's basically all I watch on is Cops all day. And Cops is a wild show.
It is.
Cops was a wild show. Like I guess there's a new version of it now, right? It's called.
Is there?
Damn, it's Patrol something.
Oh yeah. You
know what I'm talking
it's
about?
Live.
Yeah. Live PD or so Live Patrol something like that. But like that's like the updated version of it. But old school Cops was some wild like shit. We was watching them at Mardi Gras the other day. I don't know. It just take me back down memory lane. Like I was like, yo, shit was dope back in the day. Like
back in the 90s. I mean, shit was kind of crazy.
Like talk shows ain't the same no more. You know what I'm saying? They can't do that during daytime television. No. We've changed so much as a culture. Like even me and you were just talking about a term that will get you demonetized right now on YouTube, right? When I grew up, that was the correct term to use.
Right.
Now there's a different term, I guess, that you would use. Because you don't want to.
A lot of words are like that.
Yeah, where, you know, you don't want to offend anybody, and you're not trying to when you do it. You're really doing it from a place of this is how I talk. This is where how my culture. It didn't mean the same thing when we came up, but like it just goes to show you just how it's what was it? I can't even front. I'm about to say how quickly things changed. I'm like, it's like 30 years ago. there should have been some change in the past 30 years, bro. But it's funny. My daughter, speaking of 30 years, so I grew up listening to 3 6 Mafia, right? Like Juicy J, DJ Paul, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Memphis. And my daughter was singing a Katy Perry song the other day, right? It's called Dark Horse. And Juicy J has a verse on it, right? And she was hitting the Juicy J verse. She's singing the whole song. She knows the whole song word for word. But then she was in the Juicy J verse, and I had to I had to cut it down. Like, nah.
Whoa.
And I gotta go back. I was talking to my girl about it. I was like, we were trying to think, like, does he really say anything too crazy? But it was like, nah. It sounded crazy enough that she was just flowing with it, hitting it too hard. You know what I'm saying? And but like you say, that's 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Of the same, like it was wild 30 years ago. Yeah. Wild now. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Certain things never change. It just look a little different.
Yeah, but nah, that shit had me cracking up, man. But what's new with you though? Nothing new?
Nothing new.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
Same old going into fall. Something new with us with Perfect Talk. Matter of fact, shout out to our YouTube. We got 100 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? So we up to 100. Everybody out there watching on the YouTube. And if you're just listening to us, go out there, check us out on YouTube. Yep. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Hop in the comments too. We're gonna showcase a couple comments later. And then we want to just showcase comments on every episode. So feel free to, hop in the comments and definitely tell us how you feel. You ain't got to agree with us. You ain't got to love what we're saying. You know what I mean? But
we want to hear what's on your mind.
Basically. What else is going on, man? Let's get right to my spotlight story. Better yet, Plicker's spotlight story, man. And sometimes it ain't the biggest story, but it's something that catches my eye. Something I think we got to shine some light on. And you remember a couple weeks ago, Aaron Rodgers, he made his debut for the New York Jets.
Yeah.
4 plays. I didn't even get to turn the TV on, but by the time my man was injured, you know what I mean? It was like, it was grand opening, grand closing.
Was it 4 plays? I thought it was like the second play.
I think it was 4 plays, if I read correctly. Yeah, I think he got 4 of them in. There was a Twitter account, however, X, right now it's known as now. It's a parody account, and it made a prediction. They said, this is before the game had even came on. This is a couple hours before the game. He said, Aaron Rodgers is going to tear his Achilles on a rain-drenched MetLife turf in 2.5 hours. The user's name was @DaddyZaslav. And, it's like a spoof account of the Discovery CEO, David Zaslav. And it posted that at 6:01 p.m. Eastern time, 2 hours before the 8:15 kickoff of Monday Night Football.
Was it raining that day, too?
It was raining. I think I saw something too. There was a shelter in place like an hour before the game. I think Adam Schefter had posted that. But yeah, this account said Aaron Rodgers is going to tear his Achilles on a rain-drenched MetLife turf in 2.5 hours. Now, MetLife turf has a big controversy because for years people have complained about how just rough it is. They get a lot of injuries on there. Yeah. The thing that this story, I guess, got more attention was then the account was suspended from X. Like, niggas want to know how you knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you got going on there. But they gave no reason why they shut it down either. I guess it was just got a lot of response to it, and people, just felt like they, like, well, you know what I mean? Like, how'd you know this was going to happen, or in response to it? But it was crazy. It was, it's just, I don't know, but that one, I guess it's just a head scratcher, like, because, one, how you know? It could have just been random. Like, I think I said that field has randomly been told that you can do that, but it also feeds into the narrative of the NFL being scripted. Okay. The NFL, you know what I mean? Which the NFL is embracing.
Wait, scripted? I mean, you're talking about, like...
They said about all leagues. Like, oh, this is rigged. Remember Aisha Curry said that one year and all that nonsense. Like, you know what I'm saying? But and the NFL is playing into it. They got the guy from Key and Peele. I want to say Keegan Michael Key. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's doing the NFL commercials where they're sitting in like a writer's room with just certain players and like DK Metcalf's in it. They got the Kelsey brothers with their mom.
The script.
Yeah, exactly. But they're playing off of it too. But this was like this was some of those. There's gonna be a lot of conspiracies on this episode, and if you don't know, that's a DJ Playboy conspiracy. I told y'all about that, but this was one. It was like the X-Files. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was crazy. I don't want nobody predicting. I kind of wish they didn't suspend his account to see what games he bets on. Right? You know what I'm saying? See if he knew the over/under, because he knew something that day, man. That was crazy. But we got Spec in the building, and usually we do put some respect on my name, right? That's where Spec will give us like his respect or speculation. But since it's been so long, can we do catching up with Spec? Usually do catching up with Keith, but you know what I'm saying? Spec's in the building, so let's catch up with Spec. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Let's get right to it. So we sat up here on this podcast and we commented on Noah Lyles. Noah Lyles, the track runner who felt the NBA players should not be called world champion.
Mm-hmm. You know, the thing that hurts me the most is that I have to watch the NBA Finals, and they have world champion on their head. World champion of what? The United States? Don't get me wrong. I love the U.S. at times, but that ain't the world. That is not the world. We are the world. We have almost every country out here fighting, thriving, putting on their flag to show that they are represented. There ain't no flags in the NBA.
I believe he said. And I will not lie, Spec. I've dropped a lot of videos, you know what I'm saying, in the past month or two. That one has like probably the second to most comments on it. The video where we're talking about Noah Lyles, right? And the NBA players in the FIBA World Cup did not help our argument.
No, not at all.
They did not help our argument at all.
Like, y'all niggas made me look bad.
They had a lot of people coming up. You know, so I'm going to read some of these comments. I told y'all I'm going to showcase some comments, so let's read. Let's read from the top here. Let's see. Costa, 200. There's literally no other country in the world who will call world champions to national championship winners. Constant Robertson, 837. I'm Jamaican, and I know that Noah Lyles won 3 gold medals at the World Championship in Budapest, so he is a world champion. He's going after Usain Bolt's record. Germany beat the U.S. yesterday, so... Let's see. J Fitness Warrior 67. The English Premier League is basically the best and most competitive football league on the world. But the English don't call themselves the world champion. Tony Watts 1655 said, is he telling the truth or not? You know what I'm saying? So I can't knock him.
I mean, so here's a question to y'all. Put it in the comments. What do y'all have to say about baseball? I mean, baseball's another sport.
World Series, right?
World Series, world champs.
The argument's getting lost because we didn't knock Noah Lyles for being Noah Lyles. We didn't knock Noah Lyles for even his opinion. I think we were saying it was like where did that come from? Like, you weren't asked a question about the NBA players.
Well, I didn't like his statement, so I was knocking his opinion.
But you were knocking his opinion, but we weren't disputing that he's less of a champion.
Oh no! Yeah. It has nothing to do with him.
If anything, I was like, I was like more so saying like, yo, like I get it, I get where he's coming from. It's just where did that come from? Like, this is your time to shine.
Right.
This is your golden moment, and it's like you don't use that time to go viral for dissing NBA players. I mean. That's all I gotta say. And I do agree with him. Maybe we shouldn't call them world champions. I don't think that's gonna take away from any prestige that they get. We know it's the best of the best. But maybe to appease that argument, because we really don't have a good response to it, other than they play. Maybe we should call them something different. But World Series as well. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody that might use that term the wrong way, I think that it doesn't take away from the level of talent that's in the NBA. It doesn't take away from it being the world's best of the best. But I'll let you comment on it.
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, in a perfect world, they should be called, national champs, right? Because it is about the country. In the NBA, the regular season, aside from the Toronto Raptors, all the other teams are in the U.S., so it's really about U.S.-based teams. Mm-hmm. So it should be national championships, even though we kind of feel in the back of my mind, in terms of the world, the NBA is still the premier league, but it's still about America, and so it should be national, I guess. I mean, yeah.
But damn, y'all let us down, man.
For real.
Damn, y'all let us down. They was favored to win the game against Germany.
I guess it would be appropriate, like for FIBA and the Olympics, for them to be world
champions once you win that. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
But not in the NBA championship.
Apparently, they had a 600 money line odd to defeat Germany. If you don't know, so that basically means minus 600 odds. Excuse me. That means you'd have to wager $600 just to win 100, but instead the Americans lost. Meaning, if you bet on Germany, you won a shit ton of money. But yeah, like I said, shout out to Noah Lyles. Shout out to everybody out there that hopped in the comments. I appreciate y'all for watching, and I mean, they weren't too disrespectful in those comments. Some of them were. Some of them were. One of them brothers was like, "How you don't know what question he was asked?" I was like, how you tell me? What they ask him? Go Google it. You tell me, bro. It's real easy to hop in comments. But what else we got going on, man? Catching up with Spec. There's been some heartbreak and love loss going on in the hip hop world, man. Jeezy.
Oh, I did hear about that.
Young Jeezy, or you might know him as Jeezy nowadays, filed for divorce from Jeannie Mai.
Did they say why?
He has not given a reason, but I know he filed for it, and I believe he has a prenup in place. On social media, she's been real supportive of him. She dropped a video recently of her and her daughter congratulating him on his new book. I think it's a New York Times bestseller, and I think that's what they were congratulating him on. But yeah, looks like it's hard to love in hip hop. Loving hip hop, right?
That's crazy though. I mean, one, because he filed for it. I mean, normally the dude don't file for the divorce. So I'm just curious what that was about.
Yeah, it's rough, man. Well, no, sometimes the dude does it, like men, like what's his name, Gary Owens.
No, yeah, I mean it happens, but most of the time it's the other way around.
Yeah, or you're trying to do it. I think if you do it first, you come out less, like depending on the state. Oh, so okay. If you file for it as opposed to her filing for it, so like I was gonna say in Gary Owens' situation, I think she was trying to file for it in California, and he was trying to file for it in Ohio because divorce laws are different. Probably more favorable to the male in Ohio than they are in California. But I don't know if that was Jeezy's situation. That's a whole other thing. But sometimes if you're not built for marriage, I think you either know it or you don't. Or you either want to do it or you don't. You should
know that before you enter into the marriage.
Yeah, that's what I do agree with that. I do agree with that part of it. Like, you really should know that before you get that deep into it. But also, yeah, you also got to think about why you're doing. I mean, we spoke about this on the show before, but why are you doing it? Are you doing it just because it's the cultural thing to do? Just because that's what everybody does? Or are you doing it because it's something that you really
want to do?
Yeah. So it makes me like wonder how much people, not necessarily Jeezy and Jeannie Mai's situation, but how many people out there are just going with.
Well, many people out there just do it just to do it,
just to make mom happy, right? Or just to do this. And it was what?
That's why one of the reasons why the divorce rate's so high. I mean, marriage ain't nothing to play with. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you ain't ready for it, you know what I'm saying? Don't even bother.
And I don't know all the historical facts, but I've heard enough times that it started out as it's a business transaction. It's like a property transaction. That's what it started out back in the day. Like, not in modern culture, but like that's why the father gives away the girl at the wedding, because that's traditional from back in the day where you're, you know what I mean, and the husband's, excuse me, the wife's father will pay for the ceremony. You know what I mean? That's all like old school. I'll give you this girl for a couple goats type shit. So it's yeah, like I said, you got to know what you want to do it. You got to know what you want.
For real.
Yeah, to do it. But Teyana Taylor Iman Shumpert also
divorce or no?
Divorce? I don't think divorce is going through, but they said they split and they're on their way towards divorce. Yeah. Teyana came out and let me see if I can find her tweet, but came out and basically said that she and Iman are good. They're not like at odds. There was no infidelity involved, but I think they just wanted to announce that it's happening because it looks like they've been split for a while, and they don't. I guess like you start moving on, you start dating other people and seeing other people, and I guess it gets weirder with you popping up places. People see you with this person, they want to be like, oh, is he cheating? Is he doing this and that? But
that's probably what happened.
Yeah, because I did hear something about Kelly Price talking on their relationship about a week earlier before Teyana came out. And Teyana was like, in all fairness, Iman and I are separated and have been for a while. To be 1,000% clear, infidelity ain't one of the reasons for our departure. We are still the best of friends, great business partners, and are one hell of a team when it comes to co-parenting our beautiful children. Yeah, that one hit me hard too. 7 years of marriage.
That's sad though.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes to show. I mean, to be with somebody for a long time, it's a lot. Mentally, it takes a lot. It takes a whole lot.
It takes three individuals. It takes you knowing that you're going to evolve into another person and that person wanting to be with this person. You knowing that she's going to evolve into another person. And now you're not only your future self, but your current self wanting to be with that person. And then you and her as one as like kind of an individual. You know what I mean? And do you want that one to grow? You know what I mean? As at the same rate. So it does take a lot. And if you have certain opportunities is the wrong way to put it, but I guess if you just know that there's other things out there, there's other opportunities and fish in the sea, it's like, why are you gonna live the rest of your life? Like, you only get one for what we know. You know what I'm saying? Why are you gonna spend it with someone that's
there's
not making
always
you happy?
Other fish in the sea. There's always gonna be other fish.
And if you're not happy, and we are in a culture nowadays, what it is not even that you gotta like marriage. You gotta understand the work that it takes and then be willing to want to take on that work, which is a lot for some people. But you said that one was sad. This next one's sad. This next one is sad, bro. Remy Ma and Papoose, they got rumors out. You know what I'm saying? This isn't a new rumor. Apparently, this has been circulating for some weeks, but it came back up and is in the blogs because I don't know how much you pay attention to the battle rap scene.
Yeah, no.
But I guess Remy Ma's back in that life, like not battling. I think she's on the other end of it.
Yeah. I know. I heard about that.
Like her, and I don't know if Papoose is as well. I think they might both be associated with it. But basically, Geechee Gotti was in the middle of a battle, and I guess he's battling the individual that Remy Ma's messing with after Papoose.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently, Papoose and this gentleman had an altercation where Papoose might have got the best of him. But it does seem like Remy Ma is spending time with this individual, and that might be, the direction that she's going. But the battle's mean, bro. Right. The battle's. I could play if you want to do a little reaction to it. I could do it. Battle's mean, bro. Let's see, man.
Female, my nigga, that's his wife. Knocking you out compared to what he could have did to you. Nigga, that was life. And you're not off the hook either. If you don't cheat, at least cheat with a nigga that can fight. You know this ain't right. You know this ain't
got it
right.
next time.
Come on, y'all know this ain't right.
Yo, one thing I'll say about these battle rappers is they brutal.
Oh no, yeah. It
ain't
like on some
like how do
niggas
niggas not get
fight?
How do niggas not get shot? I don't like back in the day they was like, come on, it's hip hop, bro. This is hip hop. What you doing? But these niggas is like, you have to get shot.
Up here supporting the victim. We done had 6 chrome events. 6 chrome events. Papoose was at all of them. How come he ain't at this one? That's a good ass question. Don't worry about it. Why he ain't at this one? Why we ain't in New York? Why we ain't in New York? Because the last time there, your husband punched on him. So you actually bring it to where he more comfortable at. So if he did decide to show up, this weirdo can have the ups on him.
You see Remy Ma right there, right?
Yeah.
That Sony couldn't protect you is wild for real. This nigga's a chump. This nigga's a chump. You know he ain't got the heart food. Fucking a nigga bitch when you ain't got hands ain't even a smart move. Yeah, but he don't got hands on them. So look, fucking a nigga bitch when you ain't got no hands ain't no smart move. But if I was you, I would have been like Verb and Hitman and you would have been the one I talked to. Like, I don't give a fuck if you fucking this nigga. Just tell him stop spewing the business. If niggas found out you was fucking the help, that could really ruin your image. We're talking Barack and Michelle, Pap and Rim. Nigga, that's us. Y'all the poster child symbol for black love. Nigga wouldn't even think that y'all marriages still had to go through them stages. Every interview, he show his admiration and tell the world how he think his woman the greatest. That nigga held you down in prison for 6 years. It was nice and Talk to her! His woman the greatest. Nigga, he held you down in prison for 6 years. I know it was nice, he cried big tears. He still by you on the biggest accomplishment front row giving you big tears. Now y'all got a beautiful baby girl who oh so amazing. He'd be damned if he lose you to this bozo with braces. The world ain't never supposed to know what you and me going through. Hey, the world ain't never supposed to know what you and me going through. But this nigga behind closed doors running his mouth like a hoe supposed to do. Them niggas making blogs and YouTubes. People arguing in the comments if those posts is true. Cause them TMZ and shade room outlets, they only know you. Listen, ain't the best fools. When you ain't feeling good, he put you back in the best mood. Yeah, he knocked him out because he be damned to keep seeing you get stepped to by some nigga he socked out and stood over like a step stool. If you think he didn't love you, you gonna put up with all of this shit? Yo, Papoose. Yes, sir. That's how you talk to your bitch. Oh my God. That was
Remy Ma still on probation?
Right? Pull out the hammer.
Where the Bronx at, Spec?
Damn.
Where the Bronx at, Spec? That ain't the Bronx I see on Fox 5.
Wait, so Geechee
Gotti?
Wait, so which one was Geechee? What, the big dude was Geechee Gotti?
The dude rapping is Geechee Gotti.
He's not the one that's smashing Remy. It's the other dude.
It's the other dude.
Oh, okay.
Easy, or whatever his name is.
Damn.
That's 8 Mile in it. That's he dissing you while talking to your girl. Or
man, that was. Whew.
That hurt more than the other two relationships.
Like, damn.
I came across that and was like, man, we gotta bring that one up because that one was crazy, bro. Yeah, catching up with Spec, man. Doja Cat, she got the #1 rap record, first one for the year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which song is that?
Paint the Town Red. It was the #1 song in the country, first rap record. She raps on the verses.
That's the damn, what's the hook on that song? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, becomes her first her second #1 Hot 100 single and first rap #1 for the year. For over a year. Yeah, so she brought us back. Shout out to Doja Cat. Doja's super talented, man. I fuck with everything Doja Cat do. She knows how to. She has the talent to back up the hype, but she knows how to create a hype. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely never disappoints. And just women have been killing this year, from Taylor Swift to what Beyonce's been doing. Like women's just been crushing it all year. You know what I'm saying? Like
even women in the rap game.
Oh yeah. Lotto, Nicki, Cardi, and Megan is back. Yep, Ice Spice. She just won something. I think best new artist at the VMA Awards. I tried the Ice Spice. She got a Dunkin' Donuts. You know, yeah, she got a Dunkin' Donuts drink.
That's what's up.
What is it called? Let me look it up. I want to get the right thing. But I tried it today. Wasn't bad until you got to the end.
Too sweet?
No, it's something. They're trying to play off the pumpkin spice for the year, and then they're trying to play off of what is it? Munch, her single. The first one, Munch. So it's called the Ice Spice Munchkins drink.
Okay.
And basically, there's crunched up pieces of Munchkin.
Oh, at the bottom.
Inside of a frozen coffee. I don't know if it's at the bottom, but
it falls
by the time you get to the bottom, so it was a good drink.
Okay.
I liked it. But by the time you get to the bottom, you're like,
yeah,
you're eating donut through a straw. So it's a little weird. But no, like you said, shout out to Ice Spice and all the ladies
BX in the house.
You know what I mean? Doing it big, man. But yeah, I seen that with Doja. Because we spoke on that. There was no #1 records for the longest. And Doja brought us.
It should be a hot fourth quarter.
You think so?
I have no choice but to believe so. I mean, normally the fourth quarter is pretty good, historically.
I heard Diddy's album is really good. You get a chance to listen to it?
I have not listened to. I heard the opposite, but I haven't listened to it.
Oh, okay. No, I've heard. I guess we'd say.
I heard one song, and I definitely wasn't impressed. Like his flow, it just sounded like from the 90s. It just sounded old.
The old school Diddy, No Way Out Diddy.
Yeah, I forget the name of the song, but it's one of the singles. I didn't really like it too much.
I heard good reviews, but like you said, you've heard the opposite, so you got to listen to it for yourself and see what you want. But I've always liked Diddy's projects.
Historically, I've liked his projects.
Even Last Train.
I went to see that Paris? In a concert.
You saw them in concert. They're on the album too, Dirty Money. I think they got a song on there.
Oh, on this new album.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did a lot of collaborations on. Diddy always been heavy with the collabs.
Yeah.
So this last one, Catching Up with Spec. This could be a respect or speculation, because I heard this story, right? I heard it a week or so ago, and I was like, that shit ain't real. I ain't hear that in the news. So I had to come across it in an actual news publication, and I did. And I was like, yo, that shit really happened. So basically, there was a fighter jet, flying, unmanned, and for a little bit of time, they lost track of where the plane was at.
Okay.
So basically, an F-35, a pilot was flying it. He ejected and parachuted out. We're not exactly sure why, but they actually released a 911 call. Where he's calling 911, and he basically says, I had to eject from my plane. Can you get an ambulance to the house? Said he hurt his back, so he wanted an ambulance to get there pretty quickly. The owner of the house called as well.
Well, he crashed into the house when he got ejected?
I think he just landed in their backyard,
okay.
But sometimes not a smooth landing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the fact that he didn't really, or maybe they just didn't want to say, but he said, ma'am, I'm piloting a military aircraft, and I ejected. I just rode a parachute down to the ground. Can you please send an ambulance? What else did he say? He said, he said it again, ma'am, a military jet crashed. I'm the pilot. We need to get rescue rolling. I'm not sure what the airplane is. It would have crash landed somewhere. I ejected. So, conspiracy. What the hell? Why did you eject from the plane? Did something go wrong? And then the plane kept flying. The plane went on for I want to say another 60 miles. They said, and then
60 miles?
Yeah, I want to say. Let me make sure I'm getting that right. So, double check my facts.
Huh. I mean, if there was nothing wrong with the plane, that could be very feasible that it goes on for that long.
Yeah, because they could fly from them. It said the fighter jet, which the Marine Corps said was at an altitude of about 1,000 feet, kept flying for 60 miles until it crashed into a rural area named near Indiantown. Now, number one, the fact that it crashed in just a rural space. Conspiracy. You remember, we didn't get to talk about this, but remember a couple months ago when there was that sonic boom over a couple states when basically there was an airplane flying and the cabin, I think, had some type of issue and everybody died, basically. So the plane was flying with everyone dead on board.
Okay, no, I don't remember that.
Oh, it was a smaller plane, and what you have so basically the plane was flying into a restricted area, and they weren't getting a response from it. This is America? Yeah. Okay. This happened a couple months ago, and then they had to send the fighter jet to basically take it down, kind of, but it wasn't responding. And that's not the only time that's happened before historically. If there's some type of issue with the cabin pressure, it could get. I think everyone freezes to death, or they lose all their oxygen.
What kind of plane was this? This wasn't like
a commercial. It wasn't a commercial jet or anything like that. It was like a I'm assuming just a couple people.
Right,
and I've heard of that story actually happening before, where they'll fly these smaller planes, but it has to be big enough to have a cabinized, what is it, a pressurized cabin or whatever. So like, if some issue goes wrong with the plane will keep flying because they'll die, and then they'll just get no response from it, and that's how they'll realize. They'll send a fighter jet up there, and they'll see like everything's fogged over, and they're like, oh yeah, they're probably all dead in there. You know what I mean? So so I think the last time it happened, they just took it down, but this time basically he just ejected, plane quote unquote went another 60 miles and crashed. Or you think someone hacked into the plane
and like ejected him?
Or he was like, yo, this just not responding to me.
I mean, anything possible.
And then the fact that they didn't know where it was at for a little bit, like, I think that's because it's a stealth jet.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah, it's F-35.
Okay, so that makes sense why they wouldn't know where it's at. Because you wouldn't know the radar.
They can't pick it up. Yeah. But
I just want to know why he ejected.
Yeah, whatever he didn't. He ain't telling the press. Okay. Whatever his reasons for, but it sounded like he said it was malfunctioning.
Okay.
So yeah, he said.
I mean, that makes sense then. I mean, if it was malfunctioning, they're not going to release too many details, I assume, because of the type of plane it is. That's probably some top secret shit. Yeah. Hey.
I don't know. But this ain't Flicker Spotlight story, but I had to shine some light on that one too. Cause I heard about that and I was like, that shit was real. That was a real story. Like that, but I think shit like that happens all the time. Like I said, like they sometimes they got to down, like a plane if they know that it's gonna be cause an issue. That was the first time I heard about planes just flying on its own. But obviously the technology it's like a drone. Right. Probably has the technology to do that, or it's smart enough to know where to crash. At least crash land, like for the least amount of casualties or something like that. Maybe. But right now, Spec, we're gonna get into my favorite segment, man, and that's called Have You Heard? Basically, I take, some headlines that just happened big in the news and see if you heard. The co-founder, Jan Wenner of Rolling Stone, he wrote a book recently, I believe it was called The Masters, where he spoke to Bob Dylan, Jerry Garcia, Mick Jagger, John Lennon, Bruce Springsteen, Peter Townsend, and Bono of U2. All those individuals, white males. Okay. He was having an interview, I believe, with the New York Times, and was asked, why you guys so many? I don't know. Sometimes I think about the questions, and I'm like, were they hoping? Were they hoping for this response? But they were like, we could see that, it's a lot of white males basically, and we know the contributions that women and African Americans, Hispanics, people of all cultures and creeds have donated to music. So why did you necessarily leave them out? His response was, basically they aren't as articulate to describe, basically for what he wanted to say. And when he got pushback.
So what was this meeting about?
So his book, it was basically, he wrote a book where he spoke to just different musicians about just their philosophy on music, what music means to them, what they felt they brought to music. Obviously, Jerry Garcia's passed away. John Lennon's passed away. So this was at the time when he got to speak to them, just bringing what he feels like they brought to the game of music. Okay. From a philosopher. I guess he wants to say from a philosopher type of level. But basically, he was like, they aren't articulate enough. And then when he got pushback on it, he said, it's not that they are inarticulate, although go have a deep conversation with Grace Slick or Janis Joplin. Please be my guest. Joni Mitchell was not a philosopher of rock at all. She didn't, in my mind, meet the test. A black artist, Stevie Wonder is a genius. I suppose when you use a word as broad as masters, the fault is in using that word. Maybe Marvin Gaye or Curtis Mayfield. I mean, they just didn't articulate at that level. And then, so kind of he goes on really to say, I guess I could have put a woman in or a man in and it would have avoided this. He's like, but that's not really what he wanted to do. And he just didn't feel like they met the criteria that these other particular artists. Now, it made me really think, he should be allowed, as a white man, if he wants to write a book about all white men, he should be allowed. I think where he fucked up here is, why would you respond like that when asked about it? Bro, you could have said anything. You gonna say you don't think they're articulate enough? You just sound crazy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bad response. I have no problem with who he chose to do that's his prerogative. Mm-hmm. I don't have to have a diverse group of people.
Right, about all black males,
right?
if you wanted to, right?
And so there's nothing wrong with his choice and people he wanted to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
The response, the reasoning, it could have been better.
That's
that was just a horrible response.
That's just crazy.
But, him just not wanting to have a diverse group, I'm completely fine with that.
So he's since been removed from the board of directors of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation. And he's offered an apology. That's what he has to do at this point. You know what I mean? He's trying to sell a book. But no, to your point,
he just should have said that. Like, I didn't want to. These are the people that I wanted to talk about, and left it at that.
Why would you say they're not?
Because nobody can dispute. That's what I wanted to do. Like,
also, these niggas were stoners. Like, you telling me they're the most articulate people, like philosophers on the planet that make music?
Well, and the pushback to that will be when you are a stoner, you do have a different viewpoint. And
I'm saying stoner to be polite. These niggas are on psychedelics.
I mean, I've never had a psychedelic or spoken to somebody on psychedelic.
I'm not saying that they're less smart. I'm saying articulation is is really what you're gonna go with, and that these are rock and roll. They're rock and roll. They party. These are some of the biggest parties of all time. We know that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't. I get it. You didn't want to talk to no one else. Yeah, you ain't want to talk to the. You ain't want to talk. Which you should. I'm listening to a book right now. That's what do they call them? Shit. What's the shit when you fucking not chants, affirmations. And basically it's affirmations directed to black males.
Okay.
So there's some things that they say in the book about, being a black male and being proud of being a black male that I was like, if this was a white version of this book, this might be real uncomfortable to listen to. Because you're cool to say I'm black and I'm proud, right? Like I got a shirt that says Black Excellence. Mm-hmm. If I saw somebody wearing white excellence, it'd be a head scratcher, right? No,
that'd be a problem.
Every time I'm like, yo, there's no reason why a white man shouldn't be able to listen to the white person version of this, what I'm listening to. But it would sound like he's the wildest white supremacist if he listened to this in his car or some crazy shit because somebody be. So it's like I do feel today's white man is paying for the crimes of yesterday's white man. So I could feel a little bit bad for them in that respect. But also just know how to answer these questions because you got a target on your back. Just know how to answer that, bro. Like you should have had one like in the bag, like, yo, these are the greats. Like you should have just turned it into how great those niggas are, not how whack other people who are not in the book are. Because now you just look wow. You did like that's.
But you did right not to change the topic, but you know how you can rock a Black Excellence shirt, but let somebody white rock a white excellence and it's gonna be a problem.
That's a real problem, yeah.
That in itself is a problem that somebody can't do that.
Yeah.
Like we want to talk about equality and all of this stuff, yet if somebody did some of the things that we'll do as black people, it will be a problem.
But I think that's why you have to teach the history. Because to let's say a white man born 20 years ago, he was born in the year 2003, right? He's like, why? Why is he allowed to do that, but I'm not? Whereas we know we were born 20 years before that, so we know a black person is allowed to do that because for 400 plus years, they were looked down as the other. They were held down systematically, socially, you know what I'm saying? So now it's like, oh yeah, let them rock. You know what I mean? That's why we have to say statements like Black Lives Matter. Because it doesn't mean Black Lives Matter more than yours. It means Black Lives Matter too. Also, like, nigga, stop shooting us. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop. So it's like, we can say things like that. White lives matter. But you should be able to say that, but it sounds crazy. but why? Because we know the history behind it.
I don't like those labels at all. Cause I'm a person. There's space for everybody. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to hear black this, white this. I don't give a fuck what color your skin is. Like I just feel like we'll never get to a place of because I feel it's just gonna constantly keep going like this. Right? Like we're in the space where, okay, it's black this, black this, black that. And let's just say the white man's left out. What do you think is going to happen eventually? It's going to shift.
Have to shift because now he's been held down for so long.
And then we're back and forth. Like it's just...
No, he should be allowed to write with a book about whoever he wants to write about. Like, I do. Because, you're going to sound like the ill neo-Nazi when you just, like, if you were just proud of being just white. It does sound crazy, like, and I do feel bad for them in that respect.
He didn't even make it a race or a gender thing. He just said they not articulate. That's a people thing.
he just generalized all of them. He's like, no, all of them. They just not articulate. And he started naming. He doubled down, started naming specifics. But what was I gonna say? Shit, like it's just like it's so. You got to know that's why I get so mad when they don't want to teach kids the history in Florida or some crazy shit. Because I was talking to my girl the other day, right, and she went to a school where I guess that the mascot was a Native American or whatever the case may be, the school name or the thing. So they had to change like some imagery around the school,
right? And
she didn't really understand why, and I had to like break it down. Well, the Redskins had to change their name to Commanders because Redskin is a disrespectful name, right? Or the Indians had to change their name to the Guardians because they had that logo where it was like a super disrespectful logo, right? But even that is like, that's, I had to like break down. Well, it's offensive because he's smiling. Look how big his teeth is. Look how, you know what I'm saying, like crazy the mascot. That was the mascot for years, you know what I'm saying? Like all through our childhood, we had to see that. And I remember when Bomani Jones, when he worked on ESPN, wore a shirt, I think on Mike and Mike or something like that, that said Caucasians. And it was the same logo with blonde hair and just white features. And people like lost their mind that he like wore that on national TV. And I'm like, but you got no problem with the Indians. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, just because you haven't come across as many of them, you know what I'm saying? Like, Monique was allowed to make jokes about skinny women that were mean, right? Because it's like, well, Monique probably got made fun of because she's big. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let her rock, kind of. But it's like, it doesn't come across the same way if a skinny woman would have come out and start cracking on fat bitch. Like, yeah. You're like, yo,
she's gonna be ridiculed.
Yeah, exactly. You wilding right now. You punching down, they call it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But I think that's only what's going to happen. That's just what's going to, it's going to be a shift where it's going to be like, yo, it's kind of foul. But teach the history because it's like, I think as niggas get older, we about to turn 40. I'm into history now on some nerd shit. Like, I want to know about JFK. I want to know about, like, they shot a president on TV. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's some real shit, but we don't get taught that at all. At all.
I mean, I just don't, I'm not going to say I don't know. It's sad. Like, why, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We all have, you cut us, we're all going to bleed the same color. It's just like, there's a lot of nonsense for no reason, like literally because the color of somebody's skin. Mm-hmm. Like, how does that change anything?
Nah, I feel you on that.
That shit is so fucking, it's stupid. It's a waste of time. Like, I can go on, but it's just like, because we're gonna just keep repeat. It's a cycle. We're just gonna keep repeating it. It's just gonna be a different group of people.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. I feel the same way. Like, you see it now with like Michael B. Jordan is like an example, but it's a thing. It's a trope to make fun of the black guy who dates the white girl. It's like, you know what I'm saying? But we're just humans. It's just humans. You know what I'm saying? Or you see a black girl with a white guy, like, she found love. Right. She found, like, who cares? Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's easy to crack on them. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to make a thing. But I get it gets a little bit too caught up in all of that.
I don't want to be OJ and like, I don't see color, because obviously we see color.
Yeah.
But it's just like,
move past it, right?
Like, who cares what color your skin is? Like,
you'd be surprised. Motherfuckers care. Still, to this day, yeah.
They do.
The nigga in Jacksonville.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Have you heard Drake used Halle Berry's photo for his new single with SZA called Slime You Out? And Halle Berry had an issue with it.
She did.
She said that, you know what I mean, she tweeted or posted in her stories rather, sometimes you have to be the bigger guy even if you're a woman. When questioned about it, she brought it out that, Drake used that picture. Didn't get my permission. That's not cool. I thought better than him. And then when, a fan posted out, like, I mean, the picture is owned by Getty Images. Right. It's not your thing. She was like, and then asked why she was upset. She responded, because he asked me, and I said, no, that's why. Why you ask if you intend to do what you want to do? That's what the fuck you do to me. Not cool. You get it? And it was just like, yeah, I get it. I mean, it's a picture of her, but it's also a picture you don't own. You was at a television event. They own the video of you. They don't, you know what I'm saying? So I get, but to his point, you do look wild asking and then doing it anyway. You look wild there. She just did it. But I think he didn't think she would say no.
No, that's why. I mean, I've done that before. Like, I'll ask Talia, like, I already know in the back of my head I'm gonna do this anyway. But I'm hoping that she would say yes, and then that I'll get points. I'll get points for that, for being courteous and saying, "Hey, do you mind?" And maybe she would have been like, "Oh, hey, yeah, and let's go out and discuss this over, slide up in them drawers."
That's why
you never know.
That's why, like, it reminded me of, like, I think when Taylor Swift, Kanye West, like, contacted her and said that, he was gonna do a line, and then she came out with, like, was angry about it, and then I guess it came out on the Kardashians that they have the recording of him talking to her, you know what I'm saying, and she was cool with it, but it was like, now you come out mad about it. And this is a little different because Halle is allowed to be mad about it, but it also is like, yeah, why he definitely was like, I'm Drake, like, she ain't gonna say no to me.
I don't see. I wouldn't have thought that I mean, it's a fucking photo of when she was on Nickelodeon. Like, why would you even care?
That's exactly what he thought she'd say. Like, she would be happy for the press.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So, but she said no. I'm like, well, I really want to use this image. Fuck it. I don't need them drawers anyway.
Chris Brown getting back in the media for basically just dropping some strays. It seemed like strays, but at Tinashe. Because she had an interview clip that was rotating, and she was asked if she regrets, some of the songs her label forced her to do, collaborations with R. Kelly and Chris Brown.
Attached to things that felt labely, would you put in that category the songs you did with R. Kelly and Chris Brown?
Oh, you think I wanted, for example, that song with Chris? That was a song that I put, a lot of, like, we all wanted it to be like this big moment, this big single. So I feel like in their mind, they were like, you need this support. And he was like their biggest artist they had on rhythmic radio at the time. And to me, I was like, well, this is a pop song, so I really don't feel like we should put Chris on it.
She didn't mention Chris Brown. She was asked about Chris Brown. That's one thing I want to say. She didn't, like, bring him up voluntarily. The dude asking her said with R. Kelly and Chris Brown. And she was like, man, like, I don't even got the what's it called, the R. Kelly collaboration in my brain anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to wipe that out my memory. And then with the Chris Brown thing, she goes on and says, well, with the Chris Brown, they really pushed for him to be on this record because they thought it was going to be a big single. But she didn't. And this, I don't know how much I believe her. She's like, it was a pop song, and she was like, he was
decided to put
urban,
Chris Brown
on it, like, as if he wouldn't, like, it's Chris Brown, like, everybody wanted Chris Brown on their record.
He's not a rapper. Yeah, he's not he is pop. Like,
she tried to said he was their biggest rhythmic artist, but he was more than rhythmic radio. Like, he was playing on all the pop stations.
I feel like she was basically like she was basically trying to, like, he's not a pop artist.
He shouldn't be on this. He's too urban for it.
And she just sounded stupid.
It was like, it was unnecessary, but then Chris Brown, decided he was gonna hop in the comments.
I have no problem with his response.
And he said, name 5 Tinashe songs or die.
Name one.
Everybody dead. Well, I think with Chris Brown, you don't always gotta respond.
You're right.
You don't always, but it's hard not to. Like, I respond sometimes. Some of these comments.
Nah, in that situation, bad bitch, you know who the fuck I am.
What I'll say is this, and I don't know if you've ever been interviewed before, but you're not necessarily nervous, but you got to be ready for all their questions. And you're on camera, so you can't look like things throw you off. So I think sometimes you just react. And I think she was more so reacting to, like, I won't say to R. Kelly more than to Chris Brown, but she was just kind of reacting to the question. And it was like, I feel like Chris's response would have been a little bit warranted if she just put him in there. But she was asked about it.
Nah, but she went on to essentially insinuate, like, he's not pop enough to be on a song of hers, and that's just not true.
That's not true.
Chris Rock is pop enough. Like,
and she also made it seem, which like I was saying, I doubt it, that she was kind of like, nah, I don't know about this. I don't think she was putting up no fight to have Chris Brown on one of her first records.
But she made it seem like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he was like, basically her career is a dub. Nobody remembers her. And then he said something like, basically she did records with all these people that were big stars, and that still couldn't save her career.
Couldn't save her career.
Well, that I don't know is true, because I think she does have a following. I don't think she's on my radar or yours, but to somebody's.
I mean, she's on somebody's, but she's not that big.
Because it wouldn't have been news if she wasn't on somebody's radar. I know she was just on a reality show recently, which is where celebrities go to die.
Yeah, I mean, she's. I mean, Listen, I mean, it is what it is. I felt she did, her comment was unnecessary. Well, not even unnecessary, but not factual. I'll say that. Because you can't say Chris Brown is not pop.
She should have just left it at, the label made me do that. Right? Because, I think anyway.
Well, she just should have said, I didn't have a problem. I mean, unless she just don't like Chris Brown.
I think that's the thing also, and that was her response. She's like, I think Chris Brown's just responding to the clip, which he ain't gonna go back and watch a whole interview of you. Right. You know what I'm saying? He gonna see what people are putting out there. But she was asked, so I don't know what the context was before that. You know what I'm saying? But the conversation was already going into how the label could kind of make you do some things. I can see how in an interview, not that necessarily an interviewer pushed her into that answer, but it was kind of already leading to that.
No. The question was phrased in the way to kind of set it up.
That no way Chris Brown was going to look good.
I mean, if you're a good interviewee, the appropriate way to answer that question is, okay, say what you want about R. Kelly, but I didn't have a problem with the Chris Brown track because Chris Brown is a big artist.
He was already... If you were going to say he's toxic, which that's what they're trying to say, he was already toxic at that point. That song didn't come out before the drama. You know what I'm saying? So it was
he had already kind of recovered from that, and I mean, it's gonna always follow him. So that's never gonna go anywhere. But it's just not the same. She did a poor job at answering the question. In my opinion. Yeah,
to not get into beef. If she don't care about it, because it got us talking about. We don't talk about Tinashe before this, so maybe that's what she wanted.
But I have a feeling she's just a bad interviewee, and just don't know how to answer certain questions.
And she also said she's open to talk. If he wants to talk, reach out, which is cool. You know what I'm saying, yo? Because some things I think, and I'm not defending Tinashe. I've heard other people say this. Sometimes you get caught up in the moment. Maybe it's they hyping you up in the room, or you just
it can happen.
And then it's like, yo, I really didn't feel like that. I was kind of, you know what I mean? It sounds corny, but
that's a personal problem. It happens.
You got to stand by everything you say. You got to stand by everything you do. Which actually brings us to our next story. Nicki Minaj performed. Was she hosting the VMAs? If I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
She has a pretty big deal over there, and I remember it was pretty interesting because Cardi B's performing at the VMAs. Oh shit!
Boy.
Oh shit! What's going on?
Wait, when was that? Because I didn't. Was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, last week. Yeah.
Okay.
So not this past week that we just had, but the week before that. Cardi B has a new song out with Megan Thee Stallion, right? Bongos.
I haven't heard it, but
Bongos. Yeah. We should do a little reaction after this, but there's a line in there where she says, "My BD, your BD is a 0, and my BD is amigos," which is she talking about Nicki, because I hate to be that person that's like, oh, is that line about Nicki? Is that line about Nicki, right? But Nicki Minaj's husband is not helping me not believe that line's about him with his actions this week. So apparently some type of altercation happened at the VMA, and Kevin Petty.
Oh, there was an altercation at
Kenneth
the VMAs?
Petty. I don't think it was with particularly Cardi B and Nicki, and I don't think it was between Offset and Kenneth Petty.
Okay.
But I think camps, somebody thought somebody said something, or somebody, you know what I mean, whatever the case may be.
So did they perform that song at the VMAs?
Nicki.
No, Cardi and Meg.
Did they perform that? That's a good question. I'm gonna look that up. I want to say they did.
I forgot all about that shit.
I haven't watched the VMA since we were saying 2000 and.
Yeah, I may have been in No, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, they performed Bongos at the 2023 VMAs.
Okay.
So yeah, but why we're talking about this now is the video that came out of Kenneth Petty and his buddies standing outside of a hotel
in New York.
Yep,
kind of
baiting Offset to come outside.
In Atlanta.
But they thought Offset was there. It's by the look of the video. It seems like they thought Offset was there.
Big Queens, nigga.
Yeah, sturdy, nigga. What's poppin'? What's poppin'?
What's poppin'?
Big fucking money, man. What's up?
Yeah.
Where niggas is at, man?
Yeah.
Huh?
You don't know
niggas.
Yeah.
They said you don't know niggas.
Big Zoom.
Plan that vacation. You gonna be planning your funeral, pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way to the street, nigga. Know everything, nigga. Let's play. Let's play. What's up?
We'll meet you there,
Let's play.
nigga.
Let's get it.
Let's
Let's
go.
get it.
Let us meet you there,
That's
nigga.
legendary. That's the starting
Let's get
line.
it going, man.
We'll meet you on your vacation, nigga.
That's a fact.
They got Big Zoo outside.
man.
They wanted to come at me at the VMAs, man. We ain't even do nothing to nobody,
All the
man.
way, man. What's poppin', man? What's poppin',
nigga-
man? Nobody hiding around here, man.
Yeah,
We
outside.
We ready, nigga. All the way up
Yeah.
in the
We ain't ducking action, nigga. We ain't ducking action, nigga.
I'm getting out the jet. You what are you doing? D bro. We up and off jet. Y'all nigga got there.
And it was just one of the things. It looks like a bunch of teenagers, like just standing outside of, you know what I mean? Like the fact that they're recording themselves, not like somebody else is recording them. The fact that they're yelling out threats.
This nigga's 45 years old. Like
That's the
your
wild.
era don't even do this.
That's the wild. But why record yourself? That's the. I don't get. They do. Maybe you want to show up. You could say, yeah, you want to bring it to the eras. But the recording yourself doing it is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life, bro.
That's some 20-year-old shit.
That really is. You know what I'm saying? It's not gangster. It's not tough. It don't come across like you really wanted an altercation. It come across kind of weird, but it's also like
I was surprised. I'll say that.
yeah, a little bit because I think he's gotten in beefs with other.
No,
rappers.
it's not beef. Niggas get into beef. It's the fact that again, your generation don't move like this.
Yeah.
Right? You're 45 years old. Like you're recording yourself. Come on now.
While Offset is like on video stream with Kai Cenat, while he's traveling to Colorado with Dion, while he's on a, you know what I'm saying, on a jet, not even there. It does seem either weird. But then my man got put on house arrest because apparently he's on probation.
Yeah.
So like that's the even crazier part about it. Like, what are you doing, bro? It says in July 2022, Petty was sentenced in Los Angeles to probation and home detention for failing to register as a sex offender. He's also ordered to pay a $55,000 fine as part of his sentence. And then, because of this week, he was put on house arrest after recording on video making threatening remarks to a specific individual while in the company of someone with a criminal record.
Okay.
And then, so rolling, let me sure. Billboard magazine. They said that Nicki Minaj on Thursday, September 21st, seemed to respond to the drama in her Instagram stories by writing, call the cops every time you flop, just saying, along with a string of laughing emojis. I don't know if that was directed at Offset, but you called the cops by recording yourself, bro.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
That's the crazy. That was worse than what we seen happen at the rap battle. New York got to come back. What's happening right now, dog? What's happening to the old school, man? Yo, Spec, that is another episode in the books, my brother. Thank you for coming through. Where can my people find you on social media?
Nowhere.
You know, you can find your boy DJ Playboy on X at DJ Playboy. You could also find me on Instagram at Plickapeezy, Pliccapeezy. Follow Perfect Talk on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio. Go check out the website, www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. What else? Oh, you can find us on YouTube, of course, man. Go hit the subscribe button. Go hit the like button. Hop in them comments. Like I said, we're going to give y'all some shine.
We want to hear what y'all think, people.
Exactly. And go check out the website if I didn't say it already. Did I say it already?
I don't think so.
www.perfecttalkpodcast. Maybe I did. But go check it out again. PerfectTalkPodcast.com. And also check out every episode of Perfect Talk Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify. If I didn't say that already, and just all over, man. If we ain't up there, go find us, man. We will be there soon. Spec, you watching anything new on television nowadays, brother?
Nah, man.
Yeah, it's been heavy '90s television for me around here, man. But like I said, I get on a wave sometimes and stuff like that. So that's what I'm on right now. I'm trying to think. But it's about football's back. I've been heavy on the first 2 weeks of football.
I've watched a couple of hours.
Yeah,
I watched a couple of hours.
You watched Dion, Colorado.
I did watch that last. I made it to the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Then I fell asleep.
That was because it was late.
West Coast late games. As hell.
West Coast games, man.
I tried.
Why don't y'all just play the West Coast games earlier in the day?
Well, because then the people on the West Coast gotta
it's like they gotta turn their day.
Yeah. Hey.
Nah, that
Shout out to
Deion.
Colorado.
How you feel about the just Deion's how people are reacting to him just being unapologetically? I was like, what's new? It's Deion. It's always been Deion. Like that's just how he's always been. So I'm not surprised by it at all.
Oh, what people have a problem with his like nature?
They have a problem with any black man.
Oh yeah.
Being Muhammad Ali, you know what I'm saying? Being Floyd Mayweather,
Not
being
humble.
Deion Sanders. Exactly. They're waiting for him to get humble. You know they waiting for that laws, bro. Just the white Stephen A. Smiths, the white Shannon Sharps, you know what I'm saying? Those talking heads out there are waiting. But it's like, why does that bother you so much? Confidence.
Yeah, people don't like people with a lot of confidence.
Pride comes before the fall, is what they say. But I don't think that's what it is. I think it's pride with the level that Deion has, where it's consistent. It's not like he just comes out of nowhere and now this game he's talking shit. That's always Deion. Yeah. That fucks with people's heads because they know that's not in them, and it reminds them that that's not in them.
Yeah,
it reminds them that they doubt themselves, and it's like, damn, he believe in himself, and he doing it, and he proving it. So I think that's messing with people's heads the most. But
that's what's up. I'm looking forward to that because I'm gonna be watching them games. Must see TV.
Schedule gets tougher. I don't know if they're gonna go undefeated. I doubt they will, but I want to see how they handle that first loss. I want to see how they bounce back from that. That's really gonna say, or because they getting real celebratory, which they should.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Because
they've accomplished a lot so far.
Yeah, so I want them to keep that same energy, win loss. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the vibe is, just keep that spirit of the team. And Deion, because Deion's doing crazy things for recruiting. The kids next year want to play there.
You already know.
Was last time you watched a Colorado game?
Never.
Exactly. So yeah. Shout out to Deion out there. Keep doing your thing. And we're about to hit Spec, man. Say goodbye to the people, brother.
Peace.